Hello, guys. Welcome to the first live show for the Bloodsworn Saga, The Shadow of the Gods. We are gathered here today to discuss this book. Aaron is coming as well. I didn't tell you guys. She's just resetting her modem, so we will have a full house very, very soon. Vish, how tired are you, and what time did you finish?
How do you know?
Well, because you put
it in our chat
at 1 a.m. at my time.
Yeah, it's like 1:30. No, I finished it at 1:30 my time, but it's like 7 a.m., so it's fine.
Okay. So that's not too bad. A reminder as well to everybody, no spoilers for the Banished Lands, because a lot of people are joining just to read this trilogy that haven't read. So if we compare to the Banished Lands, then we kind of have to do it in a vague way. That's the word, Deb. This is my second live show of the day and my brain is not working, so apologies to everyone in advance. But I guess we will start with everybody's non-spoilery thoughts and ratings, starting with Zaf, I guess, because she's all the way up there.
Hiya. So I really liked this. I did find the writing a bit slow to get into, but I just genuinely feel like that's John Gwynn's thing, and I'm not mad at it. It felt like it made me have to slow down a bit more. Out of the three perspectives, I actually found them all quite entertaining, but especially Orca, as a mother, I just found someone as fierce as her with her personality very riveting. And overall, I would give this book a 4 out of 5.
Nice. Sandra?
I read this before, but it had been a little while, and the first time I read it, I didn't really like it. But I liked it more this time.
That seems to be a thing with you.
Yeah, apparently. So I think the first time I read it, I gave it a 2, and then I took it up to a 3. But I think I enjoyed it much more. I enjoyed the writing more, I enjoyed the characters more. I just felt like it was a lot of things happening without things happening. I don't know how to describe it that well.
Have you read the whole series or just book one?
Just
when you read it the first time.
So I am excited to continue. Yeah.
Dad?
This one was a reread for me too, but also I haven't continued in the series. I remember being really excited the first time I picked this up that we have a very limited POV for this story. I was less excited about that this time. I think because I liked the previous series by the end and how many POVs we had. My feelings on this one bounced around a little bit. I think I'm settling on a 3.54 for me. I don't know. There just is something about it. It didn't quite suck me in as much as Banished Lands did.
Okay. Vish?
I really liked it. I think I gave it a 4.25, depending on the live discussion. But I feel like this start is more tighter compared to Faithful and the Fallen and stuff, because in that series we had so many perspectives, whereas this one we only have 3, and he really delve into it. I'm not fully invested in the characters, but I still really like their journeys and invested in them, and he really dove deep in the Norse mythology. He just committed to the bit and just called Thought Cage every 2 sentences, and I was just giggling every single time. Just why couldn't we just use head or mind? But he really just committed to the Nordic bit and just use that word all the time. But no, I really liked this. The world building was really cool. I liked the gods and the backstory of everything. It was just a solid start.
For me, the thing that kept taking me out was the skia, because obviously skia is, I think it's Icelandic, so it makes sense that they would eat it, but for me skia is a yogurt that comes in a pot, and I don't think that's quite what they're eating, and I'm every time they eat it, I'm imagining this little pot of yogurt. I enjoyed it. It's not my favorite John Gwynn book, and I traditionally don't love Norse mythology though, and I don't know, I've just posted a vlog where I read this actually, and I was talking about how I don't know whether it's because I don't have a base knowledge of Norse mythology like I do Greek mythology and other things, so I don't know whether I struggle with those settings because I'm not as familiar with it, so it's harder for me to get immersed. I think I liked the beginning and I liked the end. I think it took a long time to get to the point where you knew what it was about, if that makes sense. Like when you knew what the point of the series was going to be. So when we got to like the middle, I was kind of at the point where I was like, I don't really know where this is going, but at this point I kind of want to know where it's going. And the characters, there was one that I didn't care about that much, but the other two I did like. So for me, it was like I've put it as like a low 4-star, so it's like between a 3.5 and a 4. But based on how it ended, I'm very excited to go into book 2, and obviously, like we kind of know the direction of the series now, so that is a little better.
I was gonna say, like, there were certain things I'm not gonna lie, I'm not very familiar with Norse mythology as much as I wish I was. Like, there's certain things I do understand, and it comes definitely from media. Like, I'm not gonna lie, God of War and Assassin's Creed Valhalla were helping me a lot because there was a lot of like some pronunciation things and certain words that were like I wouldn't have known if I hadn't actually gone through the entire context of that previously. But there was a bunch of things I didn't know, and then only at the end of the book did I realize there was a glossary at the back.
Yeah, and that also has pronunciation in it.
Yeah, and I was like, I am so stupid. But it's like I don't think I could pronounce a lot of the things as accurately, but I did appreciate that like he went fully in with the mythological saying that you went with.
I struggled a little bit because, and this is like a point that I did talk about in my vlog, like I don't know how much, when you read a fantasy like this, I don't know how much base knowledge I'm supposed to have and how much description I should expect from the author in the world building. Because I feel like for me, this book lacked a little bit of description, but it's really difficult because when we read The Banished Lands, we had the entire Faithful and the Fallen series, which was essentially like a slow build into a Blood and Bone. So when we got to the series that was tighter and smaller with less characters, we already knew all of the world building. So I think it was more difficult in this one because we don't have that slow build, and it is based a lot on like a real mythology. But should you be expected to have a base knowledge of that mythology before you go in, or should you rely on the author to like teach it to you? Do you know what I mean? It's a really, because I think aside from Norse mythology, it's not something that I often encounter where I don't really know anything about the thing that the world is based on.
I do think that it kind of just shoves you in it, expecting you to understand a lot of these terms. And in certain situations, it kind of fleshes things out. But most of the time, I felt like I'm gonna be so real with you. I still don't know what a no balding cap is. I don't know. I didn't Google it the entire time. But there were like certain other things I was just like, oh. But like certain things like Drengur and stuff like that, I was like, oh yeah, I know that from blah blah blah. But yeah, I think it wasn't as friendly as to get into like a Norse mythologically inspired setting. And I genuinely think the glossary should have been at the front.
I do think that the glossary is a little bit short because I know
it is.
You know that is it the thrall?
Pronunciations.
There's a couple of types of thrall that I don't know what it means, but the word isn't in the glossary, so I still don't know what it means. The glossary was helpful in a lot of ways, but I think the only thing that I was already familiar going into this was Ulfriya, which is the wolf god. Everything else was kind of and the naming conventions of how do you know, like I'm not going to say it but like the last names essentially mean like daughter of and son of. Aside from and the ships, I know that that time they had a lot of ships.
Just to shoot in here, since I'm from Norway, I didn't.
Oh yeah.
Like a lot of the words I can kind of just know the meaning of by reading them, but obviously, since I'm Norwegian, that kind of makes sense.
So come on, Sandra, teach us the world. What did we miss?
No, I don't think we missed anything, but I didn't really think on that. The words, like obviously, I don't understand every word, but a lot of them just are what they are in Norwegian, like that are the words, or like they're really similar. So I just didn't think on it. I just kept reading. I guess that makes sense. And then like a lot of the names, etc., they are Norwegian names, right? So I read
Oh, I
and
did
obviously
see, I got a notification from the Discord and I just kind of glanced at it and somebody said, I can't wait to discuss the random words that were used for names in this one. And
yeah, but
I want to know
I
what those
cringe
words
at
are.
movies in fantasy because I hear them in my daily life and I'm like, ew, I don't want to be named that ever. And you know what I mean? Yeah, but like
Exactly.
when I went to high school back in the day when I was young, we had like 2 weeks of just like Nordic, so we like just learn about like Nordic stuff and stuff. So that was fun.
Did you
Hello,
get
Hello.
your Norse mythology in school, Sandra?
I mean, the school I went to, yes, we had like literally 2 weeks. We talked loads of Norse mythology, yes, but it's not like I remember it.
Because we
But
got
then,
a lot of Greek and Roman. That we didn't
We
learn.
did have that as well. But we had like some classes only on Norse mythology several times up in the years. But I guess that makes sense because we learn about the history, right? And what kind of gods they had and blah, blah, blah.
I think that's actually kind of really interesting when you bring it up because, like, even for us, it's like, Becca, I feel like it was the same for both of us. There was a lot of like Greek, there was a lot of Roman. Like, Roman was the big
So
thing.
much Roman because we did
So
like
much
Roman
Roman.
Empire as well.
Exactly.
But
history.
that,
like,
that did that as well.
There would also
But-
be some Egyptian because of like the Greco intersection with Romans and Egyptians. But then like it's interesting because there is a history of so many Nordic people moving into the UK that you would think that
I
we
feel
would learn a
like-
bit more about it, but we didn't.
I
really.
feel like in Zaf, were you born in the UK or did you move here?
I moved it, but I went through the entire schooling system.
So you started at like primary.
Yeah,
I
I
feel
started
like in like the really early years of primary school, we did learn about Vikings, but I remember much more about like Saxons and things like that than I do about Vikings.
I'm not gonna lie, a part of me thinks like, and this is totally not me being like because you're from up north, but a part of me is like maybe it's because you're from up north because you're like closer as opposed to me. I was always raised down south, so like I don't know. We did not do Vikings, bro. We did not do like Norse.
I always thought it was too much Vikings. I'm like, I'm done with this shit. And then,
a part of me
like,
wonders if
I
they change
know
it depending on your geological context.
I suppose actually because I am in the north and it's like Northern Europe is where they would have sailed from. So they would have hit like Scotland and the East Coast first. The East, yeah, East is right. So yeah, I guess maybe.
See, I'm also saying this because like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, thank you for helping me. The setting was the UK mainly.
But
like,
haven't you all watched like Thor in Marvel?
I'm not a Marvel girl. The thing that I have watched though is The Last Kingdom, but that is more about invading the UK and like establishing a not a United Kingdom, but an England with all of the like different people who had come and invaded and claimed land. So there's Vikings in it, but it's not so much about them. They landed in New York. Of course they did, because the Jorvik Center's in York, which is the Viking Museum. Yes, that is right.
That makes sense.
Aaron, what are your spoiler-free thoughts and rating? Even though I don't know, did you reread or did you just read it forever ago?
Yeah, I don't rate books anymore, but when I rated it, I rated it 4 stars. I didn't like it as much as Malice or like I read it right after. It's okay. I'm not a big fan of Viking. I think in general, so if this had not been a John Gwynne book, I wouldn't have read it. Spoiler-free thoughts. I thought it was cool. This character I connected with the most was the Thrall Varg, but the one I'm supposed to like the most is Orca because that is my bread and butter. So that was interesting. But I also think my biggest critique of this book, which is one of the things that I felt like when the cover was announced, was because there's a big dragon on the cover. The whole time I was waiting to see, waiting for the dragon. I was waiting for the dragon. The dragon didn't come until like the second to last page. So I was just the whole time waiting for this thing that never really materialized. But I enjoyed it. I liked it.
When did you interview John Gwynne? Because it was when the series was being published, right?
Yeah, I interviewed him as part of the promo for this book. So I got an argument and we chatted about this and how it was different from the other stuff. This was his first departure from that original series.
And so it was interesting to hear what he had to say about like what his own rating was at that time.
Okay.
Did you reread for this live, or did you?
No.
You're just vibing.
No.
Yeah, I just wondered.
Aaron's not in her reading era.
I've been mustering up
that's
the
fine.
energy all week. I haven't gotten there yet.
Speaking of characters, who was everybody's favorite? I think Zaf said Orca. Mine was also Orca.
Yeah,
I think Aaron, did you say Varg?
Yeah.
Okay. Sandra and Deb?
I went back and forth. Like, I didn't have a strong standout favorite.
No, not me either. I think Orca, I'm supposed to love her, but I feel like her story right now is a bit like boring. No, not like it's not boring in the sense that it is interesting to follow her, but it's just like, oh, I need to find my son, I need to go to give revenge. And I'm like, yeah, girl, you go, I guess. Like I read it before, you know what I mean? Yeah.
I think Elva's perspective. Oh, go Deb.
No, Orca, I feel like we got more sentimental buildup to her story with the family and everything that happens at the beginning with them. So I think in that sense, but I felt like I kind of lost her a little bit in the middle.
I think this is so interesting because I noticed that people were kind of going back and forth on their favorites in Discord as well. I think that weirdly, like we've only had Varg and Orca mentioned. I think that Elvar's perspective is objectively the most interesting because she's the one who like discovers all of the fantastical stuff that we're all waiting for. I really didn't like Varg's perspective. I really struggled. I know Aaron's about to leave. She's looking for the exit button.
I do agree with you on
This
terms
is so
of, like,
typical of
Elva's-
you.
And when you said Varg was your favorite, I was like, oop.
I do think like Elva did have like so much of them like super interesting stuff, but also I think the thing that like even though those bits really compelled me, and I do think there were compelling elements to all of the plot lines generally, though I did lean a bit more towards Elva and
Elva
Orca.
had a super interesting stuff discovering, but she was just boring. So
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think
Elva at the
her
beginning wasn't
perspective was interesting, but her as a character wasn't as thrilling, and she felt very like so far at the moment very surface level and very like she's learning more about what the hell is happening in the world. And I feel it's going to be one of those characters that like over time you see them change more. Hopefully, I'm hoping, as opposed to I really liked how Varg and Orcus. Can we talk about what happens in the book now?
Yeah, spoilers, guys, spoilers.
Yep. Meanwhile, Varg and Orca, the way everything kind of tied up to them. And I also really liked how like the whole subject of the tainted was handled, and how like if you were just paying attention a little bit earlier, you could see the seeds of like, oh, these two, they're tainted. And then like I found it funny how like back to back the last 3 chapters were like revelation. Like I thought it was really good.
I think Varg's perspective, I didn't like it because I think it was the most like battle heavy one. So I don't know, because I feel like him and Orca are both on revenge missions, but Orca, I feel like we got to connect with her before her life turns to shit. And so I cared more about her and what she was going through, whereas Varg, it's just like, oh, sister's died, need to sort that. And then while he thinks about it regularly, like I never really... It's more about him learning about the Bloodsworn and that path that he's on as opposed to his sister. So I felt like I never really connected to him. And then, of course, because his perspective was more battle heavy in the battle bits, I'm like my least favorite.
Yeah.
But Alva and Varg were both on like a crew on different journeys. So they blended a bit and both had like sworn oaths. Or like Varg was going to swear to the Bloodsworn and Alva swore on the oath, and I was like, there's a lot of swearing of oaths and crews going out on things. Like all 3 of them are like journaling. I can't speak. Journeying. Yeah, that was what I wanted.
I thought you said journaling. Like journaling.
Maybe they're doing that as well. Who knows?
You might be like, my sister is still dead.
Yeah,
life sucks.
I thought for the longest time that the plot of this book was going to be about the Queen versus the Jarl that turns out to be Elvar's dad. And I was like, ooh, so like Orca's going to be in the middle of it, and like one of them is fighting for the Queen, one of them's fighting for the Jarl. But no, it's that everyone is tainted and a dragon is now loose in the world.
Yeah.
So I do think that is going to come into play though, because they mentioned it a lot. Like they're talking, like the queen's like on the kind of outskirts of everything. But I'm interested to see how she factors into everything, because she has tainted warriors, right? The queen.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
follow
she had a
her.
girl.
The mother.
So she must be allied with the crow lady, assumedly, whose name I can't remember.
But it's how she treats them.
I think it's like her son that's doing it, like behind her back. But we haven't really got confirmation that she doesn't know anything. It's just her son doing it.
Yeah, it's the prince, because Orca found that out. I forgot about that.
Fun times. Aaron, did you read the whole series?
No, I mean, when I read it originally, the other two had not been out yet. The first one wasn't even fully published, but I didn't feel especially motivated at the time to continue on with the series.
You gave it 4 stars though. That's like a high rating for you.
It is, but it wasn't high enough to make me move on. And like I own them, I do own them. But like I said, it was a good John Gwynn book, but like the story itself wasn't one that really was compelling to me. I found it was hard for me to connect with the characters because on their own, none of their storylines are particularly compelling to me. Like I can go with a fridging plot line, think Red Rising, think a lot of stories that we like, but I have to have care a little bit about the person being fridged first. And so like if you think about Red Rising, like you go about 50 pages until the fridging happens. Whereas Thorkel, I liked him, but it was like chapter 1. And then Brecca, I don't care about no kids. So I didn't really care about that. And then Varg, I hate a sibling dynamic. I despise a sibling dynamic. So I wasn't very sympathetic to that. And then
Are you an only child, Aaron?
Yes and no.
Okay.
And then, it's just we can get into it. But and then the other girl is just like, oh my dad's this big Jarl, but I want to make my own battle fame myself, even though I literally have had a life that has catered to me not making my own battle fame because I had the best tutors, I had the best experience. Like this is a figment of your imagination. You are creating this tension for yourself, and I'm gonna go out and make a name for myself. Okay. All right, not sympathetic there either. But then we start getting more POVs in the second book. I read like the first couple chapters, and one of them is our resident trader, I suppose. And that's an interesting dynamic that I
Hey, in the second book, the glossary is first.
I did wonder if the second one would have a better glossary because people were complaining.
No, it's only 2 pages.
I really love how John Gwynn, he like gives us a small amount of POVs like in the 2 later series, and then he goes, oh, you want more POVs? Well, here's somebody who you actually don't want to read about, but here's their entire perspective. And I'm like, thanks.
I had it in my head this whole time that this book had 4 POVs, and I kept waiting for the 4th POV. I was like, where'd I even get that from?
The 4th POV was the friends we made along the way, just like everyone.
I can't find a new POV, Aaron. Are you lying to me? Oh, no. Lie. Sorry.
Wow.
Jump scare.
What now? I don't know who this is.
Exactly.
Wait, is it not
Surprise.
Bjorn?
Yes.
Okay. Because I find him.
He's one of them.
Who's Bjorn?
What do you mean? Who's Bjorn?
The one who
No,
like
I found him in the list of characters. I can read it myself.
Oh, there's a character list. That's helpful.
Yeah, that is helpful.
Because I did struggle with remembering who everybody was, especially because there's so many different Jarls.
If you pronounce the
Yes.
correct way of one of these names, it's literally ass. Just so you know. I just wanted to say. Sorry. Move on.
I haven't looked up Spurt and Vesely art, but I feel like I should. I do feel like I don't know what anything looks like in this world. Like the little creatures, no idea.
Before we get into this, I need to figure out. I think I did this before. Who has aphantasia?
I do not.
When you see a word or when you're reading a book, do you see the things that you're reading in your head?
Yes, it's playing like a movie.
If it's
Okay.
described well enough, yes.
This is a factor in all of our reading experience. I don't see anything.
Oh,
When
you're
I'm
the
reading-
Fantasia.
So what it looks like, it really doesn't matter to me because I can't see it anyway. So I'm just like, yeah, sure, whatever.
That's so confusing to me when people who read a lot have aphantasia, because I'm like, how do you understand what it means if you can't see it? Like,
I see the words. That's it. Like, I see the words, and I'm like, all right, bet. Like, this is what's going on.
If I read a book and it's not descriptive enough to build the picture, then I can't focus on the book. Like, I look at the words and I'm like trying to work out word by word what it means to understand it. Like, if it doesn't build a picture, I can't read it. It's really hard.
And so that helps with like my lack of confusion, because I'm also I trust the author. Well, if I don't understand right away, they'll tell me again. If it's important, it'll come up again as we're going on with the story. It'll continue to unfold, and then surely it all makes sense at the end. And if not at the end of this book, the end of the series maybe. And so I'm just like, okay, I'm down for the ride.
So how do you find combat sequences generally?
I saw a sketch of what Spurt looks like, and I wish I hadn't.
I picture in my head just the teeth, like a Cheshire cat grin, but with evil-looking teeth.
It's like an old person's head attached to a scorpion's tail with like wings and 8 legs.
Is there a way I can show this?
You should be able
to share a screen share, I think, at the bottom.
Give me 1 second.
Or present, I think it's called.
Well, you're acting like a boomer. I don't know how to share your screen.
Why are you so mean to me, bro?
I'm pretty sure she works in tech as well, technically, in a roundabout way.
Can you? Okay, how do I?
To be fair, StreamYard has changed things like 2,000 times probably since the last time Zaf did a live show. They like change something every time I log in.
Okay, you know what? I've got a way of doing this, which is a bit long-winded, but I will show you. If you're looking at the art that was based on the wiki, which is freaking horrifying, I can work with that. Okay.
It's on Reddit. I just typed their names in and went onto Google Images, and the first 2 that came up, they're like hand drawn on squares of paper.
Be careful you don't spoil yourselves. That is how every major spoiler has ever come about. Looking up character art. Status.
I'm not looking up anything. I'm looking up my book covers. When you take them out, it's like
status
the whole body.
Kill main character, and then they die right after.
Cool. That's so cool.
That thing.
Why are you sharing it like that? Well, whatever.
This is the best way I could do it. Leave me alone. But apparently, that's what he looks like.
That is something.
That's so ugly.
I didn't picture being that big feeling, because it's living in their creek on just a couple. I don't know.
I didn't think it was that big because he was living under a rock.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the ones that I've got aren't that big, but they are very scary.
I was imagining Spurt quite big, actually. Maybe that was just me being insane, though.
No, I think one of them, they're both sat on Orca right at the end of the book, so I think they're pretty small.
No.
There you go.
Oh, wow.
So cute.
Is something.
The old man face is really captured, like in the descriptions. Like,
it reminds me of the really big head in Spirited Away.
It fits with the fact that he's like a grumpy old man character too.
Yeah.
And then Vesley, he's not too bad.
Vesley, I think, is adorable.
It's like a rat bat.
Mm-hmm.
So that one's not too bad. Yeah, they were cute until I looked up character art, and now I'm a bit scared of Spurt. But aside from that.
So is it Vessen are like generally monsters? They're not, it's just a big, huge, wide character or category for non-human entities, basically. Is that
sounds like I don't know if they actually in the glossary is it actually stated what they would.
It says creatures created by Rifa, the dragon god.
Okay, so they all came from the same source, but they're different like breeds, basically.
They actually reminded me a lot of the, I don't know who's read the Winter Night trilogy by Catherine Arden, but how there's all of the little like brownies and the little small gods that they feed. It reminded me of that because they're also all dying because people aren't worshipping them anymore, and in this world they're all being killed.
Talk about a series that sucked.
Right. There's no need to be petty just because I didn't like Bard.
No, I really thought that series was horrible. But it has similar things to this, so you know.
The Domovoy, that's what they're called. There we go. Yeah.
The
give me that.
chomping on teeth was a little disturbing.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. And that's the cute one that eats the teeth. Is that word? They're called tenor. Is that word in?
Yeah, tenor. TENN.
I also think
So that word isn't in the glossary.
That means teeth.
Does it?
Tanna is teeth. Yes. In Norwegian.
Oh. Okay.
So they call
there's
them
a lot
teeth
of
because they
creative
eat teeth.
naming here. Is what we're saying.
That's so
Oh,
He put a lot of-
tanner. I mean, yeah, but like, yeah, it's very close. Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, and the it reminded me a little bit of the first Law series as well because of the berserkers.
Another.
Yeah.
Well,
Has anyone read
if you think
Berserk?
about First Law being like England, as like the primary setting, you're probably pulling from some of the same mythology loosely.
The thing that I found interesting though is that the Banished Lands is English or like British lore and mythology, but somehow didn't manage to stray into the Norse element of things, which is in the Norse mythology series.
Well, they did have a polar bear.
That is true. And last time I saw John Gwen, I forgot to tell him about that polar bear, and I'm really mad. I'm really mad about it. The next time I see him, he's gonna get a story about polar bear.
Don't spoil the polar bears.
It's not a spoiler because no one understood that it was a polar bear anyway.
And it'll just save everybody the embarrassment of thinking it's a magic bear.
Who says polar bears aren't magic?
Oh, has anybody read the Shannara series? Actually, is that
Terry
Terry
Brooks.
Brooks.
Terry Brooks? Yeah.
It's on my
Oh,
TBR.
I wanted to read it, but then I found out that he's an ass, so I didn't want it after all.
Oh yeah, I heard that about him. Actually, I don't know what he did.
Is
I was
that
just told-
is that an actual
No.
deterrent for you?
It depends what he did, I guess, because I have
Yeah.
David Eddins on my TBR, and apparently he was like abusing children with his wife. So I think it depends like the level on the scale.
I know that one
He's
author,
on.
she like killed somebody, her and her husband, I think.
Was that the
author-
Crawdads
what do
or
you
some
call
shit?
that? Yeah.
Oh,
It's awful. I do not recommend it. Got it.
But I
Dumb.
did watch the TV show.
Yeah, I watched the show.
Is it the Crawdad one?
I know he just handed it over to Delilah S. Dawson, which is an odd choice, but
Is it the Crawdad one?
where the Crawdads sing, yeah, the author and her husband were convicted of murder or something like that.
Oh, is that why everybody was boycotting that book? I saw that they were
Yeah.
doing it, but I didn't know why because it was literary
No
fiction.
one-
So I wasn't gonna read
No,
it
I don't
anyway.
think
Or
it was the
historical.
artist's husband. Wasn't she just a witness in the murder? And then they trying to find
I
her?
mean, I think probably bad enough if you're not going to the police and telling them. I don't know. It's been a while, but I know there was a murder afoot, a real murder.
But I don't think that book was actually cancelled because like the movie and like the book was so popular, no one cared.
I'm a
Okay.
bit like, if the authors are people in the end of the day, if someone's done something a bit dickish or like said something not great a few years ago, I'm gonna be, "Ugh," but it depends on how bad it is. So I'm kind of there. Like, unless you've actually done something reprehensible and it's like proven and or it's something very recent, I'm a bit more forgiving.
Yeah, same. I'm trying to think who we do. We want to break it down by character and go through because that's what we normally do. Okay, we'll start with Orca. She was the shining star. Is anybody surprised that her family were killed or her husband was killed? I absolutely was not. As soon as that man walked on the page, I knew he was done for.
He was too good. He was
He
too
was.
good and handsome and beautiful and wonderful and lovely.
Luscious locks.
And when children and people started getting killed, I'm like, yep, they're next.
Mm.
I mean, it flipped the script a little bit on the Banished
Mm.
Lands because we've
Yeah.
got the mother-son relationship versus the brother-son relationship being key.
We've got a father-daughter relationship as well in this
Yeah.
one because Elvar has that guy that's like the warrior who's essentially a dad. Oh, poor Thorkel. I was actually really upset about that. I liked Thorkel, but I also knew he was gone. He was done for.
It was also like I agree with Deb in the sense that it was like a reversal, but usually it's a situation of like, oh, the man, he loses his wife and his child, and da 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 da. But the fact that it was like the woman, and also I like the sense that he was the one who was tempering her rage in this sense of like keeping her a bit more calm and a bit more grounded. And now she doesn't have that grounding influence anymore. She can go off the rails, as opposed to it being like a man who's so aggressive, but he has to keep it inside. And the woman is so soft and lovely. And like, I really like they switched that entire dynamic around.
Yeah, that was actually quite emotional, and it happened a lot earlier in the book than I was expecting. I thought that it would have already like happened right at the beginning. So when we were establishing her as somebody with a husband and a kid, I was like, oh no.
I think because I read it like so early on, it was pretty. I would say the marketing made it pretty clear that this was gonna happen, because it was like she's gonna be on this revenge mission. Her family's been destroyed, her son taken, and so when he was like, okay, destroyed and taken, who was destroyed and who was like, it was kind of not a surprise that this is going to be the thing that was happening, because that's kind of how they led with the marketing. Some series I feel like they keep stuff like that like it's a real big spoiler and they don't say. Whereas other series like, actually, let me just prepare you, this is going to be the thing that happens, and then you move on. And I feel like this one was that, because the actual Seekers were, oh, the queen was in on it. Literally everyone is tainted. That's how we all got together. We're all tainted. And then, you know, the actual gods not being dead and all that. Like, these were the shocks and not like our character setup.
Do we think Orca's pregnant?
I hope not.
They didn't get to do anything, did they? I don't remember.
No,
like
they were
immediately
practicing.
Yeah.
They were having some fun.
All the stuff that she did from the time that he was killed to the end of the book, sure that baby's dead. If it was one.
Because also, it's like they said that they wanted it. Things started going south. Then they were like, because remember the dudes came.
Yeah.
And
But
then,
they were
so
already having some fun.
I don't remember any nookie nookie. I don't like. Maybe I like
I
for
think
once
it's like also
I wasn't paying enough attention.
They came back. After they came back from the gathering, I think that's when it happened.
Yeah, because the dudes came, but then they had to travel, and they were on the road together, and then they had to come back home and be on the road together. And there's time for it to be a thing.
Not to mention, I think berserking kind of surely has to kill the vibe. Like, not a really safe space for a fetus to develop.
What if they berserk on each other?
Whoa.
That's the beginning of a horror movie.
The baby and the mother berserk on each other.
No.
Do they all know that they're tainted as well?
Yeah.
Orca definitely
think
knows.
they do.
I think Orca and Thorkel knew. That's why they were keeping each other a bit more grounded and away from everything.
Yeah.
I didn't even clock, because Maria's just asked, do we think Thorkel used to lead the Blood Swan, or was it Orca? I didn't even clock that was a thing.
I think it was the last line where it's like, "Where's my brother?" And
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, so I didn't take that to mean that one of them led the Blood Swan. I thought that Thorkel was literally his brother.
Thorkel was
But
his
that
brother.
could just be me.
That's just my assumption, because he was like Orca and Skull Splitter. I'm like, oh, that's her last name, because Thorkel murdered her.
It's a really ugly last name.
They did the
I think
deed the
it's an
evening
open
right before she went to check on the tree, so she would be freshly fertilized.
How long have they been traveling?
Of all the ways for
No, but like, how long have they been traveling, do we think? Because a part of me doesn't feel like it's actually been crazy long.
Couple of weeks, maybe, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it will take like maybe 3 months to actually.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I don't know how long this series is as well. Like, it could take place over like a year, in which
Will
case
John
she's
Gwynne
not
talk about periods? Will he mention a period?
Oh,
Yeah, but also like if she was on the road, she might just think that she wouldn't get her period because she's so stressed and like traveling and stuff.
oh yeah, true.
What are the biological consequences of berserking out?
You have to ask Mr. Ryan, not us.
Yeah.
Not a clue.
If she starts getting morning sickness in book 2, I'll be pissed.
You know what? I don't think he would do that, because that would directly contradict her with Brecca. Because the things that she would need to do to maintain and have a, let's call it, full term spawn, versus like the things that she needs to do to get and secure and revenge her son. Those two things are not in alignment, and I don't think he would put her in a position to choose.
Maybe Vogue was pregnant. He was throwing up a lot. Real.
I mean,
But
Becca
also,
sees him every other month, so she really can ask. She needs to get like a pen and pad and like write down these questions, and then next time she sees him, like, hey, let's talk about these. And then get us
Look,
some
the
answers.
last few times I've seen John Gwynn, I have not been sober. Like, I don't know what I've said to that man. Probably
This is
not
why you
pretty.
need to write things down, so when you see him, you bring it up.
Okay.
You need to just take a note on your phone and
Yeah.
like John in big letters and top, and then the first dot is polar bear.
Shall I just give him the phone and be like, can you fill this in and give it back to me later?
Yeah,
Yeah.
But no
Yeah.
spoilers. But no full spoilers.
no spoilers, but explanations, please.
Mhm.
Oh, don't Maria, I was so gutted. I was on the train on the way home and I remembered about the polar bear.
You should have just called him. You should have just called him.
We're not on those terms yet.
Yeah.
Give it
She's not that
another
famous.
meeting or two.
yet.
That's one of those cool moments from the live show where, you know, if you're on TikTok where you see those edits where it's like something, burn, something, burn, and it's like, it's a polar bear.
Yeah. Yeah, that was wild. I still
Write it in
think about that.
Sharpie, like Pierce Brown, write it in Sharpie on your hand.
I was literally about to say that. Polar bear. Polar bear.
You'll remember them.
Oh, she's frozen.
Cool. Oh, she is.
Becca. She's so happy about the polar bear guys.
Oh,
You're back.
am I
You're
back? We've changed
Yeah.
our internet, like the modem or the router, whatever it is, and it keeps going wonky. So I don't know what the issue with it is, but we'll see
Vish, what
if I
time
stay.
is it for you?
It's going to be 8 a.m. It's not so bad. It's just.
Are you about to
really
start work?
My work is at 8:30, but it's fine, guys. I'm on your way. No one will know.
I mean, if you watch the live, they will know.
They won't know.
Hi, Vicious coworkers.
Bye.
They
It's
don't
not-
know.
It is 6:30 now, which is co-workers. Okay, yeah. Keep going.
But yeah, I did really like the whole dynamic of how they fleshed out that story. And honestly, I really don't want a pregnancy situation because she's already got the maternal instinct. And now at the end of it, she's got a bunch of kids around her. So I'm curious about as to how that's going to play out. They don't need to reinforce a whole other motherhood aspect on her, in my opinion. But I am interested to see how, now I think we can transition to Varg, how his perspective with her is going to kind of like flesh out both of their combined stories, and especially the history that Orca had. Why did her and Thorkel leave? And then go and pursue this whole life. How are these two aspects now going to come together? And then also considering Bjor is tainted, and that's kind of going to obviously directly feed back into the other two perspectives already having people who are tainted. So I'm so curious if how Elvar's perspective is going to shift. Is she going to continue to be more and more polarizing against what she thought she knew, or is she going to actually convert?
She is the only perspective we have that isn't tainted now, right?
Yeah.
And the other two are different types of tainted, aren't they?
Because there's different
No, they're the
animals,
same.
right? That
No, they're the same.
Different gods.
Descended
they're
from different gods, yeah.
I'm pretty
Are they
sure
both
they're
berserkers?
No, they're both wolves.
Oh, so Thorkel's a berserker and Orca's a wolf. Oh, and then Varg and Orca are wolves. Well, damn, I wanted more variety.
Maybe
Yeah,
we'll
this
get
game
more.
so they can mate. That's
We'll
why.
get
What's
more
Bjor?
We'll get
We
Yeah,
don't know
it's
what
Bjor.
Bjor is now.
So
It's
is
the
the
damn
allure of the kids the fact that they're crossbred?
I wanted to know why they were taking the kids, actually. I still don't feel like we got an answer for that because they wanted them for the ritual that they did, but why did they have to be? Why did they keep telling the tainted kids that they're going to change the world? Are they just kind of like taking them to raise them?
I don't know, but my theory was maybe Grifa was gonna turn them into their children. like her children. Sorry, but I don't know how that'll work. But that was my theory. Maybe.
At first, I thought that they were going to sacrifice them when they lined them all up on that door, like above the dragon. I was like, oh no.
But also the whole thing about like raising them is just giving me PTSD of the last series we just read of like the angels taking the kids and raising them. You know what I mean? Like I'm curious, but maybe it's like something to do with the magic in their blood.
Oh, Berserker might be bear. Something's a bear.
Yeah, berserkers are the bears.
And Svik is a fox.
I love his story about the cheese. That was great.
I want to know why they needed the kids specifically though, because they had all of the adults. Because I thought that at first, but then everyone was tainted, so I'm like, surely they don't need all of these tainted people.
Kids are pure, you know, something like that. Something stupid.
Were all the kids from multiple lines?
Maybe.
They need to have all the gods represented.
Because technically, Rekka was a crossbreed.
Yeah. But what was the other kid that we knew about? The kid that was a witch, wasn't it? Wasn't that a Seether witch?
And a berserker.
So maybe
some sort of unity amongst. Let's all be one happy family.
But all the gods were beefing each other, and they all ended up killing each other. So the fact that it's kind of like specifically going after crossbreeds, at least so far, that could maybe be the way it's going. It is interesting.
Because the crossbreed, probably because their powers haven't developed, like someone said, they're easier to collect. But then when they do, they might not just have powers from one; they might have them from both.
Yeah, they could wind up extra.
Maybe they want to make like a army for her. Brainwash them.
An army of children. God, sounds like hell.
Yeah.
That's reminding me of something else I literally recently read.
Army of Children does?
Oh no, it was literally TJ Klune. Third book in the Wolf series.
Aaron was so disappointed.
I thought you were going somewhere with that.
No, I'm sorry. It was a completely different series, but it was a whole other army of children. I don't know what the whole thing is with an army of children. They just creep me out, bro. It's giving me weapons as well. That horror movie.
Something that I wish we got a little bit earlier in the book is the reason why they all hate the tainted and the little creatures. Because it's like, oh, there was a war, and I'm like, okay, yeah, there was a war, but why are you so invested enough that you want to kill everyone? Like, what's the deal? And we did get that eventually. We got a little bit of a backstory to the war, but I was kind of trying to puzzle that out for a long time. Also, did anybody clock that? And I know this comes from Norse mythology, obviously, so it makes sense, but the tree spirits and like the gods would in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Like the people in the trees.
Oh yeah, wait, no, because literally we just see the whole tree situation just before things go to shit for Orca, right? Like,
yeah, because she goes to the tree. I can't remember why she'd go in there. Why are they killing? That's what I think that confused me. I don't know why they came to kill the tree and then take her kid.
The spirit or something that was a protector in the tree.
Yeah.
Also, the tree was protecting her, and that's why they're okay. Because I thought that they came to kill the gods. Well, they came for her, but they were the people that were also killing the gods. Whereas, in theory, I feel like they're the people who should be supporting the gods because they're the god children.
Yeah, the tree spirits, they protect, like that someone said, the area, and they also are kind of like an alert as well. And so you want to get in, you kill the tree first, and then the area is vulnerable and no one is made aware that you're there.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I do have to wonder though, how deeply does the influence of the gods essentially penetrate different aspects? So we already have the Vaesen, who were like, okay, dragon god made those, cool. And then the thrall, like all of the people that we know who basically have like some kind of blood in them. How did that happen? And like, because it can't, was it like a gift?
Bestiality.
The dragon turned into a woman.
Exactly, it turned into a woman at the end. So I'm like, are they like literal lineage, or are they like
real big woman? She's a big girl.
Yeah, they were having sex with the human
very big dragon.
Whether in their human form or their beast form.
So it also makes me think though, like, is there like maybe their blood in like the ground also had an influence in terms of potentially the trees? Because if different aspects of them can affect the world, like, I don't know.
If you no, because if you think about it, they were also trying to collect at various points, like the bones of this god
Yeah,
they
exactly.
would have in the thing. So their bones, they were huge. If you think about where old girl is from, the younger one, her family lives in the snake. They have a whole city in the snake. So you think about just how big the snake is compared to some of the other animals. So their bones are littered throughout this world, whether they're in the ground, whether they're in the various like steads and like in use. So there's a whole trade surrounding having these objects because they have blessings, they have power, they have X, Y, and Z. And so I would imagine if having the bone gives you that, the bone being present or whatever also has an effect as well. And back to Becca's point with the Winter Night is like when you actually were still feeding the spirits and engaging with them, they had these levels of protection. They had these various things that they could do. But once you started starving them and people weren't taking care of them as much, the protections that they had that they didn't believe in, they started to go away. And other bad things started happening.
Ooh, Orca was also described as being fairly big. That's a good point.
I mean, yeah, but I also feel like just people at this time were kind of big. They were just
I think the Viking. Although I thought as a species we evolved taller. I feel like the Vikings are big though, because they're still big. They're still taller than like people from other places.
Even Varg was saying like some of the people like in the blood, whatever the fricks, they were also massive. Like the guy he had to fight in the beginning was also massive.
Yeah, half troll.
And also the guy, the other guy that was like hunted down by Elvar and co, he was also massive.
Just like you see those 5-foot girls on TikTok and they have their giant baby that takes up their entire torso into their leg, and then you see their 7-foot husband, and you're like, "Well, girl, why'd you do that?" I'm like, sign that baby up for the draft.
Did anyone clock the story from the characters when they were eating the porridge with the troll?
Yeah.
That is a really, really like children's fairy tale to tell. So I've heard that like a billion times. It's one of my favorites. It's really with this dude called Askeladden, or like the Ash Boy maybe, but like obviously in Norwegian. And I read that like 100 times. So when it came up here, I was like, "This is my childhood." It was really, it was actually great.
When the like witches are doing the spells and they speak a different language, is that Norwegian?
Don't remember, but it's not really Norwegian. It's more like a mix, I guess. It's more like northern maybe.
Okay.
I wish they
I just
translated it.
remembered when we did the Banished Lands, the giant language in that, was it Gaelic or something? So people were just putting it into Google Translate to see what the giants were saying. So I wondered if this was an actual language as well.
Like some of the words are similar, but some of it is more like in Norrønt. It's not Norwegian, but like it's in the same tree. So it can be like similar to Icelandic. But like we have like similarities in our tree. You know, the language tree, whatever. So some of the words are completely weird, but like it's similar. But yeah, it's a real story, that story with the porridge. So I knew exactly where it was gonna go because I read that like 100 times when I was a kid. Like it's a really like known fairy tale.
I thought it was going to be like foreshadowing for what's going to happen with the trolls, but
no, I literally thought it was just fun times to like have like a homage to where he has the setting. But I thought that was really fun.
That's cool. Maybe it's the old Norse language, probably.
It is probably inspired more by that, like with the runes and stuff.
The magic is a mix of Norwegian and Icelandic, but I read it in a Swedish accent.
I read it in a Norwegian accent, obviously.
What are the Norse countries? It's Norway, Sweden, Iceland.
Denmark.
Is Denmark in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Finland.
And Finland.
Finland.
But Finland is not, what is it? That Finland is not Scandinavia, but it's still in the north, so yeah.
So after a quick thingy, it's showing up as Icelandic when I tried to translate some of the sentences. Which is interesting because they actually make words. So I'm very curious to like
now I can't
all of
remember
those things end up meaning in terms of the magic. But it's like I wish they actually translated the sentences because like a lot of fantasy books, like sometimes when they have a different language, they'll actually translate it, like at least in the glossary or something. So I
think when they were making like the blood oath, that was like translated to as they were saying it.
Yeah,
I think
there was some parts.
Yeah, I think that was the only instance.
But what is really interesting is that the Icelandic language has had like the least development, so they are still very similar to like how the language used to be a long time ago. Well, like Norwegian has like developed more, so we are like further away from like the original form. But like Icelandic, they've been better at keeping their language, what can you say, pure, if you want to call it that. You know what I mean?
I didn't think about how helpful it would be to have Sandra in these live shows.
She's really showing
She
her
didn't
work right
plan it.
True, it's true.
Yeah, very true.
Maybe we'll do an Australian series next time, Vish, and then you can tell us about Australia.
Whoa.
You want to crush it?
Like Canius.
No, I've just read like Canius. We're not doing that again. We'll talk about it backstage, actually. I was going to say that I have a series to float by you guys, but we're not derailing this live show again. We do it every single time.
Especially as we're so close to the date in question.
I was glad Elvar's loyal protector didn't die. Ah, yes. It begins with G, right?
Yeah. I kind of expected him to go.
Isn't that her dad? Like Gerd.
He's not her dad. He's her warrior that went with her when she left.
He's her gar.
He's her dad, but he's not like her dad, you know.
He's like a
friend, yes.
He gave me, so there was elements of this, especially at the end, where because it's obviously Elvar that's in the place where like it's all kicking off with the dragon. It reminded me of Game of Thrones spoilers. If you haven't seen it now, it's been 8 years. It reminded me of Your Moment. And the end, like his end, which was sad. But yeah, he's giving me Yora vibes. Although Yora was
die eventually. We've got 3 books to traumatize her.
Very curious to find out more of the backstory around his first oath. Whose mum had an affair?
I'm guessing he just made a promise to her mom that he'll keep her safe.
There's also something going on, actually. We still haven't finished with his storyline, so he can't die because there's something going on with him and the warrior that stayed with her dad.
As if an author's never killed off a character before we finish, which get an understanding of the storyline.
Yeah, but like when you've got something, when there's like a little thread going on, you know that normally they're going to explore that. When that wraps up, that's when you know you've got an issue. That's when we know that trouble is coming. It's like when Thorkel said, "I'm so happy, let's have another baby." It's like, oh,
you just signed your own death certificate.
My notes say Grandiora vibes. I do agree with you guys and Elvar as well with the, like, she's not really given much in terms of personality, and it's unfortunate that hers was the most interesting perspective in terms of, like, what she was actually doing, because she was not performing for me for a while.
I mean, she wasn't doing anything. She was there.
Yeah, true. She was just there.
Also, the giant marble in the hall, it reminded me of that giant stone head in like Night at the Museum.
Oh my god, yeah.
Dum dum gimme gum gum. That's what I was thinking.
Why do we have a head in the hall though? Like, what's the deal with that?
I think
what's the logistics of that?
I think he explained like he had a bit of magic of like the snake god in him, and they just found him in the river, and they're like, "Oh, a talking head. Let me just keep it."
So. It's when she went to the place at the end as well, and she was like, "Oh my god, this giant head is so much bigger than our giant head at home. Like, why?" It did also kind of amuse me how Bjorn's like chasing her literally the entire time, and he's like, you know, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, and then he saves Gren's life, and she's like, "Let me take you to bed." Like straight away, she's like, "Let's go down to the stream." It's like, wow, that's all it takes.
Yeah,
you just gotta save the life of a sworn warrior, and you're in.
But then you're out very soon after because you're a betrayer. So
true.
Do you think
does that mean they were giants at one point? Are they actually giants? They're not. But they're not like the giants that we're familiar with. They're different giants for sure.
Maybe because that giant talking head said that he was a giant before that.
But I feel like John Gwyn giants in the Banished Lands are like a few feet taller than the normal person. They're not like BFG size giants.
I feel like a giant in this context could be different because I would imagine if you are living in a world with gods that literally walk among you that are that huge, I would imagine just all the people were much bigger as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
And they evolved down.
I'm actually quite surprised because obviously we know that this isn't set in the Banished Lands and it has nothing to do with the Banished Lands, but because John Gwyn is such like a history nerd, I'm surprised we don't have crossover simply because Norse mythology does slightly cross over into like Celtic and like British law and stuff because of the invasions.
Shield wall.
Escape the
Like,
shield wall.
Shield wall.
Oh yeah, true. The shield wall, which is still a Roman Empire invention. That's the hill that I'll die on. I remember distinctly learning about that. They do like a turtle formation, where they like put the shields above the head and create.
I'm
like,
remembering that from Spartans.
I thought it was Romans.
Someone did it. And now it's in John Gwyn's book.
Who invented the shield wall?
I'm looking it up.
It is.
But it also could be a thing where it was simultaneously invented in multiple places at the same time.
It's like a
Oh,
train.
Yeah, I mean, it's a logical
Roots
step.
in Greek. And then
Often associated with Viking and Anglo-Saxon warriors, which is pretty much what they were like hand in hand with each other. Well, they weren't; they were fighting each other, but you know they were in the same place at the same time.
But
You
he
learn
has
to roll
announced
too.
his
So
next
Persian,
series, right?
Greek, and early Roman.
Okay, fair.
So
I
everyone's
love
right.
in Asterix graphics. But yeah, the shield wall did make an appearance in both series.
Mm-hmm.
What was his next series? Was that Slavic? Was that what he said?
10th century Slavic.
Will we
Mythology.
get Sheeple then as well? That's what we need to look out for.
There is somebody did an interview with him as well where he said a little bit more about what the actual plot is. And I shared it in my Instagram story, but I forgot.
I just didn't watch it because I just don't read synopsises. Or
Fair.
listen to them.
This is where I'm standing a bit differently because I was even thinking when I was reading this, there is no synopsis on this book or even slightly in the book. It's just
Not
the
really.
book.
Yeah.
And
They
like,
It
do
just
that a lot
literally
of
says
times
that in the
in
brand
series.
new Norse Inspired World. That's the synopsis.
like, girl, that's not giving me anything.
Yeah, they
They
didn't do it
do
on
this a
that one,
lot.
this series, because they didn't want to cover the wraparound cover. That's why.
But that's so annoying. Because normally if they do that, they put it like here. But that's just like
maybe it is in the flap in the hardcover.
But also,
So the
it's like,
hardcover
sorry,
came out like last year, which was 4 or 5 years after the fact.
But didn't the US have a hardcover at once?
Last year, it came out last year. All John Glenn books come out in paperback here. And so,
Really?
No hardcovers?
yes.
Oh.
Oh, I thought you guys would have got hardcovers first because you were the guys who invented hardcovers first.
Yeah.
We do
Orbit
hardcovers
UK does
Some
hardcovers.
do now.
Yes,
No.
does paperback.
I hope we don't do it because I love my giant paperbacks.
you know what doesn't make sense? The
Oh.
second book also doesn't have a blurb, but the third book, I'm not reading it, actually has a blurb. So I don't
How does
understand.
people
why people do
complain?
it. Huh?
But what a place to add the synopsis in the third book, the one that you don't want to read.
Like,
It just says
But did you
the
buy?
story continues an epic saga of myth, magic, and bloody vengeance. That's it.
Here's a question: the people who have it on book 3, did you buy it in a pack of 3 books, or did you buy them individually?
I bought them individually together.
Okay. Because if I could see, like, if it was sold as a box set, them only putting a synopsis on the very back of the book that you're going to see from the outside.
I only have book 1. I haven't bought book 2 or 3 yet.
It does have.
Yeah, I
a
bought them as a set.
and I've read it, and it's literally the whole plot.
That was the thing that I forgot about the synopsis of his new book. It's the main character is based on his daughter that passed away
Oh,
a few years
yeah.
ago.
I did. I probably watched.
Are we going to read that?
I read that somewhere.
I mean, we technically could. We can't finish it as a series, but it will line up like it's released. Well, it hasn't been announced, but what I was told is that it would be releasing somewhere around the end of our planned read along. So,
But then we can read the first one, and then we have to wait a year or more for the second one. Because it's a dual.
yeah.
That is so anti-ketchup book club ethos.
And ketchup book club's going a little off track these days. It's fine.
Like that would just be a step too far. People would start to revolt. You know, pitchforks.
Is it you? Is it you that would start to revolt?
No.
But then there would be a
I
live
would
show to go
totally
back.
support the revolters for sure.
Can I side point? Does everyone is everyone's book floppy? Because I've read this, but there's literally nothing here, not a single crease, and it's just so.
No, it's the
Mine's
hard.
creased.
It's the
I bought it when
UK
it came
not
out.
floppy paperbacks as they always are.
Well, Vicious is floppy. Look at that. That thing's flopping more than I ever have.
Yeah, all of
okay.
them are
Yeah, but
heavy.
this has the Australian tall ones that they always flop.
It's because I
The
bought them when
Rules
they
of
came out.
War, September 8th, 2026.
Does it have a release date now? I haven't seen it be announced.
Yeah.
I felt like I saw a publisher giving it a release date. I can't remember.
Oh,
It
this
was
is
like
not.
October.
This sounds terrible.
I
It's
read.
about children. Is that the problem?
I have a set of bookish icks. Okay, everyone has them. And one of my least favorite settings, probably actually my least favorite setting, is a forest. I hate being in the forest. Oh my god!
I
I
love the forest.
I love the forest.
I'm
But don't you like Fire and Blood? That's literally all in the forest. The first book.
I liked the first book.
That's all in the forest, yeah?
It was very pastoral. I liked that, and then the second book was terrible, and I haven't read the third or the fourth or beyond. But you know, in general, I don't like the books that I go, "Oh, we're in a magical forest." Ugh. In a world
Oh my
of dark
God, it does
forests
have a
and
bit.
frozen rivers, of ancient myth and forgotten magic, where one young woman's power will decide the fate of a kingdom.
But what would be better is that we wait to read that until like we know the release of the second one and read them close together.
Mm.
Or Becca, no, she's not agreeing.
No, sorry, I'm reading the synopsis.
But also, do we know if it's a duology, trilogy?
It's a
He studies
duology.
hydrology.
Then okay, that makes more sense. You saying that. Then.
I don't typically like Slavic, Gaelic, Icelandic, any of those, Celtic, whatever. And I'm sure there's some overlap there. Don't like that at all. Mm-mm.
I like how
I
Becca
don't
said
really
we
think
weren't
I've
gonna
read
do
much
Elf
Slavic
Chat.
fantasy. Forest is pre-Slavic.
Wait, is The Witcher Slavic?
That
Yes.
sounds right.
Haven't
I
read,
should
watched,
know this.
played, so
Richard
This
Slavic.
is
yes.
this is too much geography for me. I have no idea where anywhere is. So
It is. In conclusion, The Witcher is.
But okay, I have one question for you guys. Do you guys think
Okay.
that it's because this is, if you go to Goodreads, this is John Grance's most rated book. Do you guys think it would be as popular as it is if it didn't have these covers?
yes.
ooh,
Ratings don't make the book.
No.
Wait, hold
Yeah,
on.
but
Ratings- Covers don't make the
more
book.
ratings, like more people have read it.
Mm.
More
because
people
the
have read it
covers were
bec-
pretty.
Maybe.
Go on.
Aaron,
So I was reading John Gwen when this came out, obviously, like I did the press tour for it. The whole reason this series came out was because people didn't want to start when he did the second series in the Banished Lands. People couldn't start there; they would have had to go back to Malice. And Malice is a debut novel in a lot of ways. It reads like a debut novel, even if you do enjoy it. And so there was no entry point for new readers there. So he was already popular. He was a very popular author, had a lot of name recognition. And then when he came out with a new series, people could actually jump in at the new series. And most people will tell you they either like this series more or they like the style and the writing and the setting of Malice more. But more people wanted to jump in with this new thing. And the cover did help, but it was because he was already pretty popular.
Mm.
And people were like, oh, a new thing. And then it has dragons. So that helped it along.
But more people
I think the
read
covers are
this
very
now.
nice.
I know. So that is interesting.
Yeah. That's part of why I
I don't
didn't
like
like
the
it.
covers, Izzy. That's blasphemy. I love these
That's
covers.
crazy. The second book is like my favorite cover.
I
Is
think
that
the
the
third
wolf?
one has the worst cover
Yeah.
with that ugly snake.
Yeah, I don't know what
I like
happened to
the
the
color of the
book.
third one though because it's blue.
I don't hate this because you see the tiny little boat, and I love perspective.
They
I
all
love
have
seeing-
that, but the whatever creature that is ugly. Like, on the cover of Shadow of the Gods, there's a little man. There's a little man.
Kitty guy.
I was looking,
He's so
I was
tiny.
looking at the dragon because in the book she's described as rotten and she's got corpses hanging off her, and I was like, where are the corpses?
Yeah.
Where are the corpses hanging off the dragon?
Maybe
The
she washed
dragon-
them.
She's real
Look at the The dragon looks a bit like the nearest dragons. So I feel like that's
Yeah.
how people hook people in, because Game of Thrones was so big. And then like
Yeah.
people see
Sure.
this and they're like, oh, Game of Thrones, you know?
I
I
can't believe
probably-
that John Gwynne wrote a dragon that shifts into a woman. So he wrote a dragon mommy, and then he made her putrid, rotten, with corpses hanging off her. And I was like, this could
But
have been so.
when she was sexy and she turned into a human, she didn't have all that. She was just hot.
No, she did. She had like ulcers and like
Yeah.
would,
pus-filled blisters and stuff.
would, still would.
You still go
dragon.
there.
Yep.
Fair.
Hopefully she can heal herself.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they can use the kids for.
As is it what she called Lady Dimitru from Resident Evil. Do you remember,
Lady
like,
Dimitrescu. Yeah.
Yeah, her. They've given the same energy. Like
Yeah, 'cause she's a big woman.
terrifying, but like 12 foot tall and will step on your neck.
Yeah,
Yeah, she
she's
was in
been locked
prison.
up for a long time.
Yeah, she was in
She
prison.
deserves-
She needs a minute.
She needs to get her beauty
with
back on.
corpses. That was my favorite. What about, who haven't we talked about? Varg. I'm going to let you guys talk about him because I really struggled to follow his perspective because it was very battle heavy, and I will admit, like, I do zone out quite a bit if it's like heavy on the action. So the final points of his perspective, it's not my strong point.
Because I was flip-flop between Orca and Varg. Like, I liked his journey of him, like, learning new things, and like him finding himself like outside of him being a thrall, and him also like having grief for his sister, but then also like trying to still find joy and trying not to feel guilty about like finding joy when his sister is dead. I don't know, I just felt sympathetic to him for that.
Fair. He got too soft.
He was just standing around watching people get killed, and then he was like, oh wait, I'm supposed to be doing something.
Oh yeah, he did. It was Varg that tried to stab someone with a cover on his spear.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Varg. Yeah.
I don't know how many of you, probably most of you haven't read this series, but he definitely reminded me a lot of Malcolm from Michael J. Sullivan's universe, The World of Elan, quite a lot. But I do think I typically don't like a slave narrative for obvious reasons. But I do like how human he felt as a character, and in a lot of ways, all the things that he did felt very reasonable. Like, not to say that orcas, for example, weren't reasonable, but if faced with the same options, I wouldn't have chosen the same things that she chose. Whereas, because also he was not trying to become any type of warrior, he just wanted an answer. He wanted a spell cast situation. They're like, well, if you want that, you have to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. He's like, well, I mean, I guess, like, if it's absolutely necessary. But like, y'all know I'm not a warrior, so as long as we all are in this together, then I mean, sure. And then it's bumbling along, which I found somewhat endearing as a character. And I actually liked that he wasn't very hard, because we already had two hard ass characters.
Mhm.
Like, we had a hard ass sandwich, Orca, and I keep forgetting her name.
Elvar.
Alvar.
Orca and Elvar are two rock hard pieces of bread, and then he is like a little tomato in a center, or like a
It just
soft.
moistens the
Anything
narrative.
else.
I do like that the women are central in this. Like, we got some strong, angry warrior women,
Yeah.
which does also track with the time period, I think.
Did anyone listen to the audio? Do anyone know how that is?
I can play you a sample if you like. The narrator is good, but
Yeah, the narrator's good. I listened to some of it yesterday.
I did the
Is it,
audio
is it
along.
3 different ones or the same of all?
No, it's just the same one.
It's the same.
It's-
It
I
does
think
help
it's-
with pronunciation, although Sandra, you
Oh yeah.
better than the narrator.
Although it was weird here, like reading it and like having the pronunciation in my head and then listening to audiobook. I'm like, wait, who is this? To go and look
Yeah,
at
I
it.
started the audio from the beginning and with the pronunciation guide, so
Good.
still couldn't tell you off the top of my head how some of these things are pronounced, but it
I
made
would-
sense reading it that way.
I would probably guess more people also connect with this series because the Faithful and the Fallen is described as a classic fantasy with a modern voice that is a very accurate depiction of it. But this is a very modern fantasy. The storytelling style, the types of characters that you have, the like flipping certain tropes on their head and subverting them, even just the language being used is a much more approachable style of fantasy. And also the story gets going like pretty quick. Whereas in Malice, there's a little bit more build up and it's like a bit slow, and we're following a young forest boy, and as we're going along, kind of picks up as we go. Whereas this one is kind of balls to the wall, diving straight into it. So this is a lot more akin to the type of stories that are popular right now. That's probably also another reason why it has a larger readership.
My prediction for Varg was that he actually, and I don't know, this could still happen for him, but obviously we took a turn with all the Tainted. I assumed that his storyline was kind of going to go with like, oh, I need to avenge my sister. And then he finds a brotherhood. So I thought he was going to kind of let go of that, because he's like, obviously he cares about his sister. She's his sister, but it feels like she's the only person he keeps saying, like, this is the only person I've ever loved. This is the only person I've ever known. Like, we've always had each other's back. And I feel like now that he's not a thrall and that he's with people that he can connect with, that he's actually going to find like a lease of life and an appreciation that he hasn't had, and kind of let go of his sister, was my prediction. Because he's already, as far as I can tell, he's already killed the people who killed his sister. Now he just wants to live her final moments to find out what happened to her, but he killed all of the people that he assumed were responsible. So unless there's something else going on.
I don't think he knew like who actually murdered her sister. His sister. He just killed whoever, was like responsible for giving her away, but he doesn't know who murdered her.
Oh, I thought that she was killed by the people that own them, and then he went to where he felt like that scream and then just killed everyone there.
It's going to end up being somebody very close to him that he has come to know and love, that is somehow ultimately responsible. That's
then who could it be? Because he's like changed location now.
Yeah,
and he's a god. That's also my prediction. Is he is a god reborn.
Okay, I like this, because I was gonna say, like, I do feel, even though we know the kind of core motivations for a lot of these characters, and for some of them it feels like, okay, Orca, I'm fully with her. Like, yeah, get your kid back. And then for Varg, I can comprehend wanting that revenge, and then he's got this whole other plot line. But it's just like, revenge is finalized. Other than this mystery, what is going to be the main reason he's going to be one of our perspective characters in this world of gods? It doesn't feel grand enough. So with that prediction on your part, Aaron, I actually feel like it gives more scope to his story, which would be interesting.
Everyone's got kind of like a good point in the chat right now. They're talking about his sister being taken away. The only reason why he thinks that she's dead is because he can't feel her anymore. But he also didn't know that he was tainted. And I think he discovered that was the reason why he could feel her, because they're both tainted.
Plot twist: Alvar is his sister. Orca. I'm just saying.
The plot twist: somehow the taint gets removed from her, and therefore cut off from her.
Ooh,
maybe
that would be interesting.
But then who would want to be removing taint?
Or she's been able to somehow shift into whatever full time.
Yeah,
like the gods of old.
Yeah.
I
feel like in some way, shape, or form.
I'm assuming because we've had the return of the dragon and that there's a god on every book, I would assume they're all coming back. And that would actually that would mean that they would have to be reborn, because we know that the wolf and the snake are dead, because we know where their bones are. Oh, have we seen the wolf's bones, or have we just seen his chain?
Both.
So they're both definitely dead. So if they were to come back, they would have to be like different people.
This is an interesting perspective.
She killed a thrall at the start of the book. That would kind of fit into like the John Gwyn style thing, though, because we always have people who are fighting against each other as well.
Now they've come together. If it turns out the ally that he had is responsible for whatever, but I think it also has to be a situation of, look, what's happened to lead to these circumstances, rather than. I also wonder, like, how, like, fully how the chains work, because we understand like they can be used to suppress and control, but I'm like, how far does it go?
Sandra, do you know what? Because there's different types of thralls in this book, and they're not in the glossary. So one of them's called like a Hundir thrall. Is that like a word?
Oh, that's like
I will-
just the descendant of the hound.
Oh, okay. And what's the other one? There was another thrall.
There's a sea Thor witch who is the descendant of Snaka, the snake god.
I didn't know that that's how they got their magic either. I thought that they were just like witches. Because somebody said in the chat earlier, I think it was Jenny, about how there's different types. Like Varg commented on the different types of magic, and the guy was offended because he's trained in his magic, and the witches just have them.
Yeah, the Gundor magic. I think it's like more human magic because, like he was saying, like they had to learn and like earn their magic, whereas like the tank witches have their magic.
Yeah.
I could do with a glossary of gods.
Yeah.
This is what I
think
mean.
that's
Like, how much base knowledge of a mythology do you have to have? Because obviously they are gods. So in theory, they don't need to be in the glossary because John Gwynne didn't create them, but also a glossary of gods would be helpful.
But a glossary of gods
I don't
could
know
also
what they are.
be a spoiler, and I think it's probably why there isn't one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there isn't a glossary for the gods, but there are for creatures.
But oftentimes, if a glossary is at the back, I feel like it sometimes will include things that are slightly more spoilery.
I hate it when you accidentally read a spoiler when you're looking for something in the glossary.
Yeah.
I can't remember what book or series it was that we were reading or talking about, and it was like, well, this is in the glossary, but it was a spoiler because either they were dead or something indicated that a different status had changed with that character, or they were actually with this clan, and it was like, oh,
That
damn.
was that first law?
Maybe.
Yeah, that was annoying. And then it would say, it said something, and I was like, did I just forget that? And then no, it happens in that book, and I was like, oh.
I agree with this kind of, because I didn't feel like the gods were one-to-one any of the Norse gods I know. But then again, I'm just like, I'm very basic. I only know the big pantheon.
I actually think I've just, oh no, I've realized. So do you know it's the wolf god that's called Ulfria, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just realized I said with my whole chest in my vlog, like, oh, I know some things. Like, I know that Ulfria is the wolf god. Isn't it Fenrir?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You were close.
Somebody is gonna delight in telling me that in the comment. Oh, they're gonna be like, well, actually,
I know, and you know, people already delight in telling me things when they don't need to, so I try not to be incorrect so that they're not valid in delighting.
Hurry up, put a pin
Maybe
comment.
I'll send it in a way
I
where
already
I'm
know
like,
this.
oh, obviously the wolf god, because it makes sense.
You need to go onto your YouTube and literally make that comment right now. For your own, like,
At least, you know what? It just reinforces what I'm saying, because what I'm saying in that like paragraph is I don't know Norse mythology, and I'm proving that I don't. So there we go.
Also, Bjor is not the only perspective that we're getting.
it is
We're getting
mine.
oh,
Do we keep the
Goodbye.
same ones as well?
Yeah, he
No,
just
not
adds.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Good. How big's the
It just
second book?
adds
I don't
until
have
someone
one.
dies, then they get removed.
I know books 2 and 3 are over 500 pages because this is the only one that was under. But
this one is like 6. Wait,
yeah, they're none
yeah,
of
this
them.
one's
Yeah,
over 600.
Yeah, it's 633 pages.
Yeah.
Do y'all have those baby? Yeah, do y'all have the baby English versions?
Yes.
Mhm.
Baby
No.
English?
It's
Yeah, no, it's
um,
small.
B
B
format.
format, I think, is what.
Yeah.
No, that's the hardback.
Is
No, I
this
have the
baby English?
Hold it up like the book itself, just straight up.
No, the book. Just
Close the
Close
book
it.
and hold it up.
Closed book. There we go.
Yes, that is a small one.
We all have matching covers this time as well. It's not as fun as it used to be.
Yeah. But
No.
they are on Kindle Unlimited in the US at least. I'm reading it on my Kindle.
Mhm.
Oh, nice. How do you have a USKU subscription?
Same way
Uh,
you have a US Libby.
because
Well, no, I
I
logged into your account. Like, I don't have my.
just I contacted them actually because I was just like, help, I want Kindle Unlimited, but I live in Norway. What do I do? And they was just like, put in a US address and then it will work. And I was like, okay, and then I did it and then it worked.
Welfare.
They don't discriminate.
Mhm.
Like they literally told me to do it. So then
That's
I
cool.
have Kindle Unlimited in US, but like, and then it's like too much. I also have the UK one because I had both for a while, and it's like this is too much.
Yeah, I don't really feel like. Well, you do read a lot, to be fair, so you could read a decent amount of Kindle Unlimited books in a month. I don't.
No, you love your Kinney, as you like to call it.
When have you heard me call it a Kinney recently? You've been watching my
called
videos.
it. You called it that in a video. And I don't
In a
remember.
vlog that I posted recently, I know.
I'm watching.
I called it the old Kinney.
But yeah, so
I never heard that before, and it literally stuck in my brain. I was
And
like,
I've never said it before, which is how I know that you've been watching my videos recently. Because normally I don't. I only say that at home in the privacy of my own house.
thanks for letting us in.
Okay, what else do we have to talk about in this one? The ending and predictions for book 2 that we haven't touched upon. Any theories?
I feel
Apart
like we
from
have
the-
loads of theories.
True.
Well, we're
They just
probably
came
gonna
naturally
see
in
both
conversation, though.
sides.
I just wanted to know if there was anything based, like, specifically on the ending.
No, I just feel like now that we finally established people and we know Tainted and all that, that we can like get even more into it. And that because I in all of these I just rated them higher and higher for every book. So that's what I'm hoping.
Theory. Okay, so you know how essentially the characters that we are following, they are the ones that essentially free the dragon, right?
Mhm.
And then we have our trader. We're gonna have our trader POV. Do you think more of them are gonna be freeing the other gods, or do you think that now that one god is free, she's gonna try and go find some of the other gods to bolster up her numbers?
Who was the god in the war? Wasn't the dragon the one that they were all fighting against, or was it the snake?
It was the dragon first, and then after that was a snake, I think.
So in theory, they wouldn't want to work with the dragon unless they've changed their mind because the world's different now.
The world's different. Millennia have passed, and now they're an endangered species.
But is it going to be like Elvar, who goes to find a god to fight the dragon?
I hope she gets killed. That would be fun.
I kind of see her worldview changing a little bit more, just because now she's gonna potentially go through an arc with Bjorn, like humanizing a bit more of the people who have this condition. And like we already have again, like 3 of the other perspectives are people who are tainted, who have this condition. And if it's a world where like gods are kind of gaining precedence back, who are the people most equipped to go against them if needs be? Yes, the people who actually like have their blood and stuff. But also we have 2 Vaesen that we've also kind of humanized, that we have a kind of good relationship with, and Orca's kind of still in a bit of an elevated position. So I'm kind of like leaning towards maybe they could work with the Dragon Lady, because if she's the one who made the Vaesen, then that's, you know what I mean? Am I making any sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I just
if
wouldn't
they
recommend reading book 2 synopsis because it'll give it away. Because
don't read it.
Yeah,
I
don't
never
read
read
it, 'cause
synopsises. I never read synopsises.
That is
I don't
such
know
an
I read it.
interesting choice to me.
what.
Oh yeah, the spell book.
Not reading synopses.
I just don't want to
Oh, I
know.
don't read synopses either.
Yeah.
I learn all of my synopses from other people on the internet. I have to myself.
She's going in and out for me.
Yeah.
That's why I don't know what books are about, because I'm so behind on watching YouTube now.
I just kind of I look at the synopsis when I'm going to talk about the book because I don't want to spoil like an event that it happens and then it actually doesn't say. So then I have to read it after the book.
I'll read like the top of the blurb, but I won't read the full thing because they give so much away.
Synopses as well for me, like they don't make any sense. Like you've probably noticed in my videos that I'll say like I'll try and summarize a fantasy synopsis, and I'm like, I have no context, so I can't process this information.
I actually think that when you describe books, you're so good at it. I'm like, and then I know in my video I described it completely different. I'm like, damn, why didn't I just say what Becca said?
That's after I've read some of it, though, then I can summarize it because I've read it and like I understand it. But when it's just like the Prince of Mama wanted to kill the god Flaglog, and I'm like, I don't know what.
I do want to say, sorry, on this comment, I actually I see this, especially in terms of the wolf being the second cover, and then finally you've got a serpent in the third. Because in like Norse mythology, Fenrir is like the beginnings of how we get to Ragnarok and like the end of the world, and then the Hunger of the Gods, like having like is it that the final book? Yeah, like the Fury of the Gods having a massive serpent reminds me of the world serpent, which is like meant to be so freaking massive in Norse mythology that you just like wrap around the entire thing. So it could be like if that's still going to be his mythological inspiration, he might be kind of playing with the idea of a Ragnarok in his own like fictionalized version of like this Norse world. So I'm really curious now if there will potentially see some parallels between the actual Norse pantheon and in our actual characters outside of the gods.
Maybe.
Because like also it's like Loki's son was wolf. Bad thing happened to wolf beginning of Ragnarok. So I'm curious as to if that's something that we kind of see happen in the second book.
The wolf and the serpent are children of Loki.
Yeah.
Jenny says ? So
yeah.
I don't...
Because Loki was Jotun, so he was like raised in Asgard and stuff like that. And Jotuns were like the giant race. So like,
is the wolf the one that gets tied to a rock
in Norse mythology or this?
Yeah,
like in the book.
No, in Norse mythology.
I feel like
the wolf was also tied up.
Conflate too much of it actually being Norse mythology versus inspired by Norse mythology. So everything isn't going to be one-to-one or something intentionally so. Because if you know X, Y, and Z from Norse mythology, then if he does it in the standard way, then you already know A, B, and C are going to happen. And that's a very anti-John Gwen thing to do. He's like,
he could subvert it completely, absolutely. Like I'm just kind of curious if there are certain beats he keeps, but then does very differently in his execution. I would like this.
You know what? I am so. Do you know when I say that I'm gullible? I'm just gonna Google something.
And this was a situation like when we read the Faith on the Fall, and Beth was like, "It has to be more twists than this," and I'm like, "It's not. It's really not. Like, it's a straightforward story. I swear."
Okay, no, that's fine. I was like, because I obviously thought I was like, "Oh my god, Ulfriya, yeah, that's like the wolf god." I just realized I was like, was there actually a dragon god, or has John Gwyn made that up because dragons? But there is a dragon god, so that's fine. No, there's not actually. That was the AI thing that showed me pictures of something that isn't real.
AI lies.
No, there are serpents and dragons. It's just contradicting itself. Let me scroll down. There are dragons.
They're
but
dragons,
they're not
but they're not like, yeah. They're more beasts than like...
Nidhogg is a Germanic dragon in Norse mythology who is said to gnaw at the roots of the world tree. But does it shapeshift into a big dragon muscle mommy?
Probably not. I feel like that's probably some, artistic license.
I love how John Gwyn had a dragon that shapeshifted into a big dragon muscle mommy, but like respectfully.
I love how he does write his women just well. He never like, it doesn't feel icky. It doesn't feel like, I'm not trying to judge other authors that we've read, but when it feels like the character's just there for reasons. John
Gwyn has such dad energy. Like, he is the least threatening man I have ever met. Like, he doesn't have like, I don't want to say he doesn't have man vibes, but he's not like intimidating. He's not arrogant. Like, he has such solid dad vibes that like, and he loves his wife. Like, he goes, like, all of his books, isn't it this book that just is a paragraph
literally,
about how
for Caroline, my love, my heart, my everything, always.
Yeah.
The dedication for the second book is sad though, because I think that's when his daughter passed.
Yeah.
Yeah, the second book is dedicated to his daughter.
Yeah.
I know it was at some point in the publication of this series. I feel like John Gwyn would never allow a woman to boob along boobily. Absolutely never. Okay, do we have anything to add on this one? Is there anything in the chat that you would like us to touch upon before we wrap this up? I can't believe I thought there was a dragon god and there isn't. At least they do exist.
They do exist, but they're not, yeah.
I'm looking at more gods.
But it's also a situation of like...
No, just like in Norse mythology, not in... I'm like, is there a snake god?
And it's like, you know what
Oh, yeah,
actually
it's a
happened
world
is a snake
serpent.
rose up and he ate the wolf and digested him, and then you're like, well, shit, this is exactly what happened.
Yeah, the thing is, like, they don't. If I remember correctly, they don't really have animal gods. Like, they'll have like special mythical creatures, but all of the gods are like humanoid, and like Loki was the exception because he could transform his form, and that's why he has a wolf son, because he fucked a wolf and stuff.
Oh. Okay. Is Thor Loki's brother?
Adoptive, because they're not
Oh.
like actually brothers.
This is reminding me a lot, actually, especially when we were talking about it. I've read The Raven Scholar recently, which I've noticed that Aaron has out on Libby, but has she read it? Who knows? We'll find out. And they have like all of their gods are animals. So they have like a fox, they have a hound, and all of this stuff. And when we were talking about like the different children of the gods, it was really reminded me of that, because all of the people who participate to become the next emperor are all like they're allied to one of the gods.
Yeah, because they have the
Read,
fox, the
eat,
rat.
game, repeat. I was
reading.
thinking about listening to this audiobook and playing Skyrim. I didn't get further than thinking about it, but I did think about it.
I want to read The Raven Scholar. I've heard only good things about like everyone. talking
Really
about it.
good.
It's really good.
I
Really
swear to
good.
God, you did a video on it as well, because like everyone was yapping about it, and you were like, "Yeah, I watched too much of Becca's content."
I read other booktubers' favorite books, and that was the one from, because I went through everyone I subscribed to and all of the books that were on their best books that I own, and that is the one that came up the most.
Is that a standalone?
No.
The sequel has a title now, I think.
Yeah.
The really interesting. Oh, does it? What's it called?
No.
Hang on.
Oh, please.
I
Has
have
she
it in my
said how
spreadsheet.
long the series is going to be? Or
I think it's
Not
a
as far
trilogy.
as I'm aware. Oh, is it a trilogy?
I think
The
Actually,
interesting thing about Antonia Hodgson as well is that she's a crime writer. Like, this is her first fantasy, but I did find out that she was an editor for like sci-fi and fantasy back in the day.
it's called
Yeah,
The
it's a
Fox
trilogy,
and
the Eternal Path trilogy. And the second book, The Fox in Winter.
Oh.
I did see that somewhere.
and there's different people who are gods or whatever, right? I think that was the premise. I don't know. I need to read it.
Yeah.
What, the
there's
Raven Scholar? Yeah, the animals are the gods, and they're doing a competition to see who's going to become the next emperor. And they have all of these monasteries where the people who not avatars of the gods, like they go to the monasteries of the gods, and then they pick a person from each monastery to compete, and one of them is murdered, and the main character is investigating the murder along with one of the people participating in the tournament.
I see.
It's real good. It's not like it has a murder, and that is a mystery, but it's not like a murder mystery, but you can tell that Antonia Hodgson is a crime writer. Like, when you get it, you get it. Like, the way that she does plot reveals is really clever.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm excited.
Cool. So we have nobody in the chat is asking us for anything, right?
Someone said John Gwynn has a worm obsession, and they're not wrong.
I forgot about that. I actually wrote one note. The entire time I read this book, I read a singular note, and it says, "Nightworms terrifying."
Mm-mm.
That's it. That was my only note that I wrote.
Oh my god, they
For,
were.
for the dad vibes, he's got some dark thoughts in his head. He really does.
This is how he exercises them. Yeah, that was like grim. I thought it was a dream at first, and then I was like, no, this isn't a dream. I was like, why is this happening? Why?
Also, I like how like the background characters. Oh, sorry, I was just reading my notes, but like I like how certain background characters are all connected from like each perspective. Like the two Sea Thor witches are sisters, like Vol from the Bloodsworn, and then Uspa, who's like the prisoner of Alvar's group. They're like their sisters. And then we see like the bad guy Drekker, I think his name is, from like Orca to Varg's perspective, and then also in Elvar's perspective as well. We just get him throughout there. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I also want to, because like They weren't all originally looking for the kids, but then they ended up all finding kids.
Yeah.
True. I didn't think
But I still didn't guess that the reason why they'd be all connected is through tainted people. But then it was really cool because then once you knew, you could see how it came together, like in hindsight.
Mhm.
You definitely planned it out really well. I will say also, yeah, the night worm thing, so gross. Hated that. Did not enjoy that. Because like at that point, you just like need to sleep with like your entire everything covered.
I actually think, and I would recommend that book be removed, that scene be removed from the book, and we would have been fine. Because I don't think that anything super important happened in that scene apart from nightworms terrifying.
It was just gross, and a part of me was like if Liquorifa is the one making all of these things, why? Why did you make that? You could have done everything or anything, but why did you make that specifically?
Maybe in the end of the third book, the nightworms will come back to kill people like the ants did.
True.
And that's why we got this nightworm scene right now.
True.
Oh, the bit where she had to get, and then it was like pinning people down and like, ugh. No, that was gross. I hated that.
And the way she said that she couldn't just like snag it out or something, or else half of it would still be up her nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, you have to wonder, why did she make these creatures? It can't just be like she like he felt like it, because also some of the creatures have sentiency and actually can speak and stuff. Others can't. Why?
Oh yeah.
I know I'm asking too much, but still.
I wonder what the relevance is going to be of having for the people or the creatures that are descended from the dragon. I wonder what having the dragon back is going to, like, how that's going to influence them.
Oh, that's a good question.
Because aren't the little creatures, aren't they dragon ones? Like Spurt and Vesley? Isn't it?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
vixen.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
because
they're
they're
created by
all
the dragon.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they're all kind of living off of and attacking humans in a way. I mean, they're living off. Although, no, I guess if Orca was tainted, then her blood that she was feeding to Spurt would have been tainted too. So,
but Vesley just likes teeth, and you can get those from corpses.
Yeah.
and Vesley's harvested all those teeth at
the end.
Vesley's fat now.
Well, we also see Vesley looking at people's mouths. Like, could I get those too, please?
Eventually.
Wow. Okay, is that us done for this one?
I think so.
We need to reassess the date for the next. Is it the next one, Deb, that you said was US Mother's Day?
Yeah, it's US Mother's Day.
Is that May 10th?
Yes.
So I guess the 17th.
Sounds good.
That works for everyone.
National Day of Norway. I'm joking. Who cares?
Well,
I mean, we're reading a book with links.
Yeah, what's better to read on and talk about on the National Day of Norway?
People do stuff that day. I just eat food and vibe.
Fair. Okay, so we will be back potentially on the 17th of May with The Hunger of the Gods. So stay tuned. I'm just looking at Jenny's message about the dentist. And yeah, thank you for joining us tonight. I'm relying on Zaf to like end the live show because I don't have that power today. So yeah, you wrap this up. Actually, I can't do it.
Oh yeah, like thank you so much for coming. We look forward to seeing you next time. Hopefully there'll be less gross stuff. Bye. I pressed end stream.